Hello Cobra Kai fans, welcome back to the channel. This is the Cobra Kai Season 5 official trailer breakdown. We have so much to discuss. We're going to be looking at all the significant shots and what each shot is going to tell us about Season 5. Loads of analysis. Stay tuned. So in the first shot, we get to see Terry Silver and Amanda. From that image, clear insight that there's some sort of auction going on. You can see those people are holding cards up with numbers, which is what you'd normally see at an auction. We don't know what exactly is being auctioned or why they're both here. I definitely think it's no coincidence that Terry Silver's there whilst Amanda is there. We know Silver knows what he's doing. That is definitely sus. He's definitely trying to get in Amanda's good books to show that he's really not the issue. It's Daniel. But that's just Terry's perfect cunning way and being such a perfect manipulator of things. We get some shots of Terry Silver's Cobra Kai dojo, which looks super badass, and it looks so much cooler than any of the Cobra Kai dojos we've ever seen. It's then pretty hilarious when we see Johnny Lawrence using his Eagle Fang car to basically pick up these two ladies, which I assume he's an Uber because he's no longer doing karate. Johnny said that he washed his hands out of Cobra Kai once they lost the tournament, and he made it very clear he's not a sensei anymore. So him being an Uber driver for the meantime makes a lot of sense. I'm curious, this must be after Mexico. This has definitely got to be after they come back finding Miguel from Mexico, because Johnny wouldn't be going to be an Uber driver from the start of Season 5. As at the end of Season 4, he made it very clear that he is going to find Miguel to Carmen. So he went all the way to Mexico to find him, and we'll obviously see what happens there. Daniel announces that Miyagi-Do is officially shut, and of course Sam retaliates and isn't happy with hearing that. He says with Johnny gone, there's not much he can do, which is quite interesting because they might have just tricked us by saying that Johnny is just an Uber driver now, but maybe he's just in Mexico at this point. And this must be early into Season 5 because Daniel's right to shut Miyagi-Do as they lost the bet to Cobra Kai in the tournament. This must be right in the first 2 episodes that Daniel announces this. Probably episode 1, finding Miguel. Some absolute badass shots of Terry Silver's Cobra Kai dojo with his students. You can see Devon training right next to Tory, and that was definitely happening as we saw that in the image they released last week. Carmen is checking her mail and sees the Cobra Kai logo, which is definitely some flyer that's promoting, and the ones that are opening very soon. Terry Silver also says that Cobra Kai has now got more students than it ever has. It cuts to a shot, which is a sensei that has cutting edge karate written on the back of his gi, and you can see another sensei to the right wearing red. This must be the moment that Terry Silver is looking to take over other dojos, or is at least hiring new senseis for his other dojos that we saw in the teaser. He's opened dozens of locations and he's going to be looking for quite a few senseis. You can see how big the new dojo is and how many students there are. You can even see a few people at the front which look like senseis that are working with Silver and possibly senseis of the other dojos. Terry Silver clearly calls in recruitments and some old friends, which are exactly Sensei Kim being one of them, because even though we think Mike Barnes was going to be one of them, it didn't make any sense for him to call upon Mike Barnes, when clearly he knows a lot of people in higher places with the work he's done in the past. Terry Silver has made it very clear they need more senseis, so he obviously calls Sensei Kim, and it looks like all of these senseis are actually with Sensei Kim, and they've agreed to help Silver. He says that he's thinking a lot bigger than just the valley, which is freaking nuts, because this means that his plans go further than the valley. Now, I'm starting to think that Terry Silver wants to dominate not just North America, but also South America, Europe, and probably the entire world. This is why I also think the All Valley is not happening, as I've said previously in other streams and in the trailer reaction when I just saw the trailer. There's definitely some crazy things coming, and we will talk more about what that could mean with Silver going past the valley. We see that at the water park, tensions are still bad with the Cobra Kais and the other students like the Miyagi-Dos and the Eagle Fangs. We see Anthony is now getting bullied, which was ironic because he was the bully in Season 4. You can see Kenny is getting his revenge and he is very happy with it. It's quite hilarious that Kenny tries to fight Eli, because Eli is the champ and he is definitely way more superior. Miguel and Robby are also at the water park, as we already know in the images and also when they have that interaction in the teaser. Robby says that he knows how things can start from nothing and get bigger and bigger until all you feel is hate. It might be an interaction with Kenny, because he doesn't want him in Cobra Kai. He's definitely very concerned about that, and he even said this to Johnny at the end of season 4, how he'd understood what he was saying about Cobra Kai, and now that he had someone under his wing and saw him go through that, he now totally understands why Cobra Kai was bad for him. Robby and Miguel have this interaction, and it looks like maybe Robby pushed someone in the pool, hence why Miguel goes over to push Robby. Most likely it was Eli, and maybe Robby just wanted to make sure that Kenny was okay and Eli didn't hurt him. There's probably no other reason why Robby would do that, because he was clearly trying to go over there to defuse things. But of course Miguel probably sees that and then decides, what the hell are you doing, man? And of course things are very tense after Mexico, but they're still yet to bond, and I will hopefully see that within the mid-season. Johnny is still trying to force them to be friends. We know when they say these types of quotes, it means it's foreshadowing something that's about to come. We get a little bit more of the Robby-Miguel fight, and it definitely looks like Miguel is so fully ready to fight Robby. I'm curious how this fight starts. There's definitely different theories. I don't think it's a dream anymore. It definitely feels like it's too real, that it's not even going to be Johnny's dream. And I honestly think Miguel is going to be fighting Robby very hard here. Because this season, I believe he's going to have the edge after coming back from Mexico. And clearly Robby is getting the love from his father this time round. So they're kind of switching up. Robby definitely feels more like season 4 Miguel, whereas Miguel is almost like season 4 Robby with that edge. It's very much a parallel, but it's also shown how much these guys really don't like each other and they need to resolve these things. But at the same time, different, but same. You can see how many dojos it is now, so Silver has got to have so many senseis for each one. There are now 15 dojos that occupy the valley with Cobra Kai. How many senseis are going to be part of each dojo? There will be 15 senseis, or maybe some of the senseis will occupy more than one dojo. There's a lot more senseis with Cobra Kai than there is on Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang's side. Chozen makes it very clear they need to fight for what's right, and he definitely doesn't sound like he's giving up. Tory and Devon are most likely having a demonstration with Sensei Kim, and she is honestly looking so badass, and I can't wait to see how Alicia Hannah Kim goes about this. Now this shot with Sensei Kim, Tory, and one of the senseis of one of the Cobra Kai dojos are lining up these students, and you can see Devon Lee is here wearing a blue gi, which makes it very clear that this is Topanga Karate's dojo. In the image they released with Terry Silver a while ago, this did not look like a Cobra Kai dojo. It looked like Cobra Kai were taking over. And it makes total sense now because you see Sensei Kim is here and all these other students, unless they were Topanga, but now have joined Cobra Kai. Maybe Devon is very certain of staying as a Topanga student. Or perhaps she might even join Cobra Kai at this point, because we know that she ends up wearing the gi and she is in the dojo's training, but this might be her initiation. She has a fight with Tory which might actually push her to joining Cobra Kai, because she wants revenge on what happened to her in the All Valley when she was fighting Tory as she was with Eagle Fang. This might give her the oomph to actually go and join Cobra Kai. Remember, Eagle Fang lost the tournament as well as Miyagi-Do, which meant that their dojos had to shut. Johnny is clearly occupied and prioritizing Miguel and going to Mexico and even spending more time with his son Robby, and he's not focused on Eagle Fang and even doing anything with them right now. So it looks like Devon is wanting to continue karate, ends up joining Topanga, but then sees herself joining Cobra Kai. You can definitely see that Sensei Kim is vicious. She whacks Tory with a bamboo stick and says, "I said harder." Sounds like she is definitely more crazy or even more strict than even Silver was with Daniel. But I think there's going to be a huge parallel with Daniel and Silver's relationship in the Karate Kid 3 with Tory and Sensei Kim. Because you remember in the teaser, she is punching something that looks like stone, and it doesn't look like wood, and it looks way worse than punching wood. So it looks like she's going to be really having that Silver Daniel dynamic with Tory in season 5. We see a badass image of Chosen in the Cobra Kai dojo with 6 senseis, which looks like Terry Silver was trying to hire them. They don't seem to be in the dojos with the gis though. So maybe this is where Terry Silver is initially hiring new senseis. These could actually make up the other senseis that we didn't see as part of the other dojos that occupy the valley. But it definitely looks like Chosen's going to have a badass moment, and he's going to definitely handle this as Daniel says he's going to handle it with him. I can't wait to see this scene because I just don't think Chosen is going to lose, because this is Chosen. He is badass. Things definitely get more tense between Amanda and Daniel, and it looks like Amanda has come to a boiling point where she's very fed up with all the karate drama and nonsense, because she probably thought after the tournament it was over. But now it continues because Daniel doesn't want Cobra Kai to expand when Silver is that man doing it all. We see more shots of Chosen fighting all the senseis, and the sensei from Cutting Edge Karate looks like he's about to get destroyed by Chosen. I don't know if he breaks his arm in this shot, but if he does, that is going to be brutal. And we know Chosen does not mess around. This might be the actual display of what Chosen can do. This might even happen in front of Terry Silver, because in one of the earlier shots, you can see Terry Silver talking to those senseis that he's potentially trying to hire for Cobra Kai from the other karate dojos in the valley. This might be a statement from Chosen say to Silver, do not mess with me or any of my friends. Daniel looks at a photo of his family and he looks very rough. He looks like he hasn't had any sleep, and he's got a little bit of beard that has been growing. Now, Daniel doesn't ever look this rough, so something must have happened. It might line up with the argument that he had with Amanda. We don't know what exactly happened, but I think she's very fed up with what's going on. I won't be surprised if they have a little break, because Daniel really cares about his family. You know that he does. Not sure what Johnny's doing here, but he's looking at the Cobra Kai ad that Terry Silver made for his new dojos, and I think he's just frustrated knowing that they're trying to stop Cobra Kai. But in the next shot, Sam opens the door to Johnny at the LaRusso house, which he then looks upon Amanda and Chosen, and it definitely looks like something might have happened to Daniel. We see Terry Silver is threatening Daniel and saying that nothing in his life will ever be the same again. Remember, Kreese was bad enough, but Silver goes past the line and there is no sense of mercy with him. Even though Kreese believed in no mercy, Silver is far worse. We see that Daniel has got quite a bad bruise, and he is with Chosen and Johnny. He definitely looks like he got in a bad fight, but with who? Did he get jumped by the Cobra Kai senseis? Was this something that Terry Silver plotted? I honestly think it would be. We see Chosen and Johnny walk into one of the Cobra Kai dojos, which looks like the same dojo that Devin Lee was in, which was Topanga. But now one of the senseis of Cobra Kai has taken over, and also it looks like this might be linked in with that scene that we saw in the teaser where Johnny and Chosen visited this dojo. It might be that they are looking for Tory, or it's that they are looking to get back at Cobra Kai because maybe they ambushed Daniel. Because from what the clothes they're wearing, it looks like it's the same scene from earlier on. It looks like they are on a mission, and Chosen and Johnny are not like Daniel. They would probably go straight in and stop Cobra Kai if they can. This is definitely going to be one of the most badass team-ups, and I'm so hyped to see this. Johnny definitely looks like he's going to handle this sensei. And this actor, who was actually at the Cobra Kai Live and Badass event in LA, because I remember when I was there, he was part of the demo they did on stage, and he was definitely performing there and looks the exact same. So he was in LA at the Live and Badass event doing that display with the other stunt actors. Now these are very quick shots, but we see Chosen is teaching the Eagle Fangs and Miyagi-Dos his style of karate, which is still Miyagi-Do, but we know he is very much more offensive and knows the true form of Miyagi-Do. You can see Robby here next to Eli, and if you look very carefully behind Sam, you can see Miguel. You can see the black hair and you can see his legs. That is definitely Miguel Diaz. Another shot where Robby and Sam are doing the wheel technique in front of the students and the senseis. But also, if you look to the left, there are 4 people dressed up very formally, and some of them have even boards. I think these guys could be actual tournament officials. They definitely don't look like they're from the All Valley board, because we would have seen them. But they might be part of another tournament board. This actually could be a national tournament board or even a global tournament board. Because why are they assessing the students like this? It looks like they are really assessing their ability. But when we get to the next shot, you can see them. When we get to the next shot, you can see them also in Cobra Kai taking notes and looking at what they can do. It looks like they might be assessing Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang's ability to actually qualify for maybe their tournament. This might be completely different to the All Valley, where you actually have to prove that you are one of the best dojos. And if this is something like a national or global tournament, there has to be different entry requirements, as there would be way more dojos involved. So there's definitely a lot going on. We get a shot of 7 senseis, including Sensei Kim, and it looks like this is when Johnny and Chosen were fighting that sensei on the right. You can see Tyron Woodley and Stephen Thompson, who were announced a while ago to be involved in Cobra Kai Season 5. And Stephen Thompson had made this clear on the MMA Hour podcast with Ariel Hawani that he was going to be involved. It's pretty cool they've used actual legitimate MMA fighters in this. But in particular, Stephen Thompson actually is a karate expert. And it's pretty awesome he's one of the senseis for the Cobra Kai dojos. I'm very glad that they made Johnny and Chosen the thumbnail, because this is definitely one of the coolest shots we've ever seen in Cobra Kai. This could be right before Sensei Kim and the other senseis come out and they are fighting maybe that one sensei, but then they get outnumbered with those guys, which is definitely going to be trouble for them. We see another shot where Eli and Kenny are fighting, and Eli has the mohawk back and it's green, which I think is really cool, because I had a prediction it was going to be orange, like the gi inside was orange, and on the back of the Miyagi-Do logo you can see the sunset. But it actually makes more sense that he went with green because of the bonsai tree. And I think that is really him fully embracing Miyagi-Do. I'm curious why they are fighting, but it does make sense when we get to the next few shots. But we can see another shot of Tory and Devon fighting Sensei Kim, which is probably her trying to prove who's more worthy in the dojo. We then see Devon and Sam fighting in the Cobra Kai dojo, which again is interesting, because where is Tory? Why isn't Tory fighting Sam instead? We know that Sam is definitely going to whoop Devon's ass, but why isn't Tory fighting Sam? Did she leave? Or did she decide that she wasn't going to fight Sam and decided to quit? We don't know, but it's strange that she's not fighting Sam. Or maybe she is in this shot and she's just not seen. In this shot with Devon and Sam, you can see those officials from another tournament board in the back. Supposedly they're from a tournament. But what I find interesting and what proves that they are from a tournament board is that this guy right here was a referee in season 4 of Cobra Kai. He was at the All Valley tournament. So the fact he is here looking on Sam and Devon, it looks like these two dojos might be going head to head to maybe qualify for a tournament. And I think it makes total sense that this is a qualifier, because you wouldn't have tournament officials there. And on top of that, why is there a referee from the All Valley tournament? It definitely doesn't make sense unless Cobra Kai are running their own tournament and they want to prove that they're the best in the valley. It might be quite interesting, or maybe, just maybe, Miyagi-Do have got to prove that Silver cheated and maybe they're replaying the fight. But it would be strange because Devon wouldn't be fighting Sam. It would have been Sam fighting Tory. We see another shot of Kenny, which looks like he's fighting Tyron Woodley's character. And I think he might be jumping off Kyle. Not sure what happened, but maybe Tyron Woodley was whooping their ass. And then Kenny decided to jump over Kyler and go for the flying kick. It's a very quick glance, but we get to see Miguel, Eli, and Robby together. This is badass. These are the best 3 male students in the karate dojos, and it's so cool that we get to see them together. They're definitely doing some really cool kata, and I can't wait to see these three interact more. One of the biggest parts of the trailer was definitely this: Terry Silver fighting Daniel LaRusso. Now, he looks very smug, and he looks like he's about to go all in against Daniel, and Daniel looks like he's about to throw down as well. But if you look closely, Daniel's knuckles look like they're bloody, which is interesting. It might be a parallel to the moment his knuckles got bloody. It might be a parallel to the scene in Karate Kid 3 when his knuckles got bloody when he was punching the wooden board, and when Terry Silver was telling him to make sure he destroys it. This is actually crazy because I didn't think they were going to fight originally in season 5, but now it looks like they will, and we will also. But I think this actually could be the moment that Daniel gets beaten up bad, which is why he has the bruises in those scenes, and also why Johnny and Chosen go to that Cobra Kai dojo. Maybe they're looking for Silver, but then they run into the other sense. It makes total sense because who else is going to bruise and beat the hell out of Daniel like? If it's not the Cobra Kai senseis, it might be Terry Silver. Where are they? Is he in the LaRusso house? We don't exactly know where, but he even could be going to Terry Silver's mansion and fighting. Maybe he thinks he needs to take on this offensive approach more seriously and face Silver head first and face his demon. Daniel's also wearing the same clothes and has the same rough look and the beard as he did in that shot when he was looking at his family photo. This actually could be his annoyance for maybe Terry Silver putting his family in so much danger that maybe he's going to deal with it personally, and maybe he even told his family to go away for a bit while he decides to stop Silver in his own way. Because we know Terry Silver is not gonna be showing any mercy, and he will go over the line, as I said. We finally get to see Kreese, as we know he went into prison at the end of season 4, and it looks like he's getting counseling while he's in there. Now, in the shots with him fighting other prisoners, it looks like that Martin Kove is not only going to be in this scene, but we're going to see Barrett Carnahan, who played young Kreese. Now, when I was in my live stream, it looks so familiar from the back that this was young Kreese. And why would they show a random prisoner fighting this guy in front of him? It's got to be young Kreese, and it looks like Barrett from the back. This might actually be Barrett doing some of the fight scenes for Martin Kove. It might be that Kreese is hallucinating, and maybe we will get to see him fight more as his young self. And this actually is a very cool opportunity to see young Kreese and current Kreese fighting in a scene. I actually really think this is smart, and I love this idea. But so many people kept saying this is Mike Barnes. This looks nothing like Mike Barnes. Even if this was a stunt double, this just looks too familiar. But we are definitely getting a lot of Kreese scenes in prison, and we're getting a prison fight, which we all hoped for. We're not sure if we're going to see Trail Cruz, but it would be awesome if we did. Now guys, that is the trailer. What a big trailer for season 5. I will be sure to do another one, as there'll probably be so many details I missed. If there's anything you noticed, please comment them down below in the description. Don't forget to like this video if you want to see more breakdowns like this. Don't forget to subscribe to Cobra Kai Nation right now with all notifications so you don't miss any of my videos that you do not want to miss this. Thank you for watching. As always, this was a really big video, and I hope to see you next time.